Hello, I'm Darcy Clark. I'm at Yoga Therapy Toronto, and today we're going to practice a chair yoga sequence for the lower body. So it's a great complement to my other chair yoga video that focused more on the upper body. So this one will loosen up a little bit in the hips, as well as strengthen the core and strengthen the legs. So begin in a chair, sitting towards the edge of your seat. Okay. And we're going to just start with loosening up a little bit in the hips. So walk your feet a little wider, like shoulder width apart, and rest your hands on your knees or your thighs. And then we'll do some circles. So bring yourself down towards your right knee, and then over to the opposite knee, and then back up, kind of leaning back a little bit, and then once again down towards the right knee, over to the left knee, and back up. So going in a circular motion. And just allowing the upper body to be relaxed through the shoulders. And finding a way to breathe. Breathing as you move. And just notice as you move where you're loosening up. And then go in the opposite direction, circling down towards the left knee, over to the right knee, and back up. So find a comfortable range of motion. So the circle doesn't have to be huge. It can be more like this, So go to what feels best for your body today. Checking in with your lower back, checking in with your hips. Following the movement of your breath, always breathing. And one more circle. Come on back upright, walk your feet back so they're about hip bone distance apart with your heels below the knees. Rest your hands on your thighs and just try to sit up comfortably tall, relaxing the shoulders. So keeping your shoulders relaxed, bring one leg up and then the other leg up. So keeping your knee bent, just raising one knee up at a time. Go to where you're comfortable. And notice if your upper back is getting involved or if your whole spine is getting involved. And see if you can keep the spine nice and tall and still, so that you're not bringing your torso forward as your knee comes forward, okay, or comes up. You want to keep your spine long, your chest broad, and your shoulders relaxed. Lifting the knee only as high as it's comfortable for you. And as you raise each knee, you may feel a bit of strengthening in the core, through the lower belly, wrapping around even to the lower back. So still finding a way to breathe with the movement, keeping the breath in sync with the movement. Good, just go for one more on each side. And then rest your feet to the ground. Take a breath. Side out if you like. And then we'll do something similar. Raising the right knee up. Stretch through the right heel away from the body. And then bend that knee again and bring your foot back to the ground. So we're going to alternate. Lift the left knee. Stretch out through the left heel. Bend the left knee again, and then bring your foot back to the ground. So moving slowly. This movement has 4 stages. Raising your foot off the floor, stretching out through the heel, bending the knee again, and bringing your foot down to the ground. So as you do this movement again, keep your upper body still. Keep the spine lifting taller. And let the breath continue to flow. Checking in with your shoulders, checking in with your jaw. Just trying to let go of any unnecessary tension here. When things get a little difficult, we tend to tighten up in the face, in the eyes, in the mouth. So just notice those patterns in yourself and try to let go of them. Let's do one more on each leg. Right leg lengthens through the heel and bring down to the ground again. Left leg, resting it back to the floor. And once again, let the breath come back to a steady pace. All right, now from here, we're gonna loosen up a little bit more into the hips. So you can keep your hands on your thighs. And once again, raise your right knee, but this time open it out to the side, and then bring your knee back to center and down. So lifting the knee up, opening it out to the side, bringing it back to center and down. So 3 movements, lifting the knee, out to the side, back to center, 4 movements, and down. And keep the pace with the breath. So notice that your upper body is still. So you're not opening your whole upper body to the side as your knee comes to the side. You're really trying to find the movement just in the hip. Good. And let's do one more on each side. Keeping the movement slow, in control, and conscious. Okay, resting your feet again. This time, let's stretch the right leg straight. Keep the left knee bent. And again, just make sure you're towards the edge of your seat so that you can straighten your leg with your heel on the floor, toes facing up, and you're not locked though in your right knee. Okay, so feel free to keep the hands on the thighs or rest the hands on your armrests if you've got them. Just try to make sure that your shoulders are relaxed or onto the seat, whatever you like. So with your inhale, slowly lift your straight leg up, and then with the exhale, just lower it back down again. So with control, with your inhale, lifting, and letting the exhale bring it back to the floor. So trying to keep the leg straight and moving from the hip again. So the leg is straight without the knee locked. So just, if there's a lot of tension, a lot of tightness around the knee, find just a little more softness, bending it just a little more. Now this time we're going to raise the leg and hold it up. So just going to where you're comfortable at whatever height. Keeping some length through the heel. If you like, you can release the arms out wide, palms to the sky. And this is going to, again, help to strengthen all the muscles along the core. Deep into the abdominal muscles, wrapping around to the lower back. Find one more breath here. And then let that go. If you like, you can take the heel of the hand to massage through your thigh, which did a bit of work there as well. Okay, and then straighten your left leg, heel into the floor, toes away from the ground. So you're again towards the edge of your seat, long through the leg, toes towards you. So find some space and length up through the spine again, keeping the upper body as still as you can, as relaxed as you can. Breathe in to raise your left leg, and then let the exhale bring it back down. Breathe in, letting the leg lift. It doesn't matter how high it goes. Exhale, lowering it down. Go to where you're comfortable, where you can still breathe, and where the upper body stays long and tall. One more full breath. And then this time, as you raise your leg up, hold it here, longer through the heel, toes towards you. If you want that added challenge, you can release the arms, palms to the sky. Try to soften as best you can through the shoulders and keep the breath flowing freely. It's okay if your leg is slowly sinking down to the ground. It's heavy. It's normal. And then slowly release. Find your breath. Okay, let's stretch out a little bit. So if you hug your right knee into the body, just hang on to the knee. You can interlace your fingers around it. If you can't quite, if this doesn't feel comfortable, you can have your hands around the back of your thigh instead, or just hang on to your pant legs. Okay, so gently hug the knee in as high as it's comfortable, keeping the back nice and long for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, gently hug your belly in as you round your back and bring your forehead towards your knee. So just notice your shoulders. If they're hunching up to the ears, release them back down, keeping the shoulders out of it, feeling more that the spine is rounding forward, head rests, as you keep gently hugging the knee in without using your shoulders. And then sitting up nice and tall again, cross your ankle over that left knee and let the right knee come away from the body. Okay, so it all depends on how tight you are around your hip and your bone structure by how much your knee comes away from the body. Okay, so if your knee is up here, that's fine. Just allow it to feel heavy down towards the ground as best you can. Now resting one hand on the ankle, one hand on the knee, roll the shoulders back and find that length again up in the spine. Now with your exhale, try to fold from your hips, so not rounding through the spine. So try to keep the spine tall and open through the chest as you come forward. Now as you do that, you're going to feel more of a stretch around your right hip. So just notice that and go to where you're comfortable, where you can continue to breathe nice and deep down into the hip. Feel like your belly is coming forward towards your right shin, towards your thighs, not so much the chest. So notice if your chest is rounding, try to lift the chest forward, roll the shoulders back a bit. And take one more slow, deep breath here into the hips. And then slowly come on back up. Keeping your foot where it is, your ankle where it is, hug this knee into you. So now you're hugging the right knee in with your left hand wrapped around it. You can feel a bit of a stretch as you hug your knee in. You might feel a stretch around the outer thigh and maybe even back into the hip. So as we stretch this right leg, right thigh and hip, let's bring it into a twist for the upper body. Just take the right hand either to the seat or to the back of your chair if you've got one, as you gently twist through the spine. So you're trying to open the belly and the chest to the right as you turn your head gently to the right. Just notice whether you're forcing your neck, see if you can keep some softness there as you breathe. Let's inhale, come on back to center, and release your foot to the floor again. All right, we'll go to the other side. So lift the left knee up, hugging the left knee in, just finding a gentle hug. Try not to use the shoulders, resting the shoulders. As you hug your knee in, sitting up tall in the spine, try to feel like you're hugging your belly and your thigh towards each other here. And then with your exhale, gently round your back. As you hug your belly in, you're rounding through the back, kind of pushing the middle back to the wall behind you as your forehead comes towards your knees. Notice your shoulders. If they're hunching up to the ears, rest them again away from the shoulders. Find the neck long. Breathing into your back. And then with your next inhale, sitting up tall again, take your ankle to the knee and let that left knee come now away from the body and down towards the floor. Just noticing perhaps a difference from one side to the other when it comes to the hips. You're usually quite different. Rest your hands on your leg and lift the spine tall without the shoulders. Keeping the spine long through the front, through the chest. Come on forward from the hips. So you're not rounding your back. You're trying to keep the chest, the center of the heart, facing out in front of you, not down towards the ground so much. That way you're going to feel the stretch back into your left hip. Let the breath move into that space, wherever you feel it. Breathing there. And one more long flowing breath. And let's inhale, slowly back up to sitting. And keeping your ankle on that knee, just hug the left knee into you, hanging on to it with your right hand. You're going to feel again the stretch back through the thigh, down into this left hip. Take your left hand to the seat of the chair, to the back of your chair, and then find a comfortable twist to the left here. With each exhale, hugging the left knee in a little more, but just noticing if there's force, if there's push, you won't be able to breathe quite as softly and steadily. So try to find the breath and let it continue to flow. Letting the body soften with each inhale. And then it's with your exhale, you may be able to deepen your twist. Great, let's inhale, come on back to center. And release the legs. One last stretch, stretching both legs out in front of you, so you're still towards the edge of your seat, so that now your heels are on the ground, your toes are away from the floor, and you're actually bringing your toes towards you. Just make sure you haven't locked your knees, okay? So keep a slight bend in the knees. Now hanging on to either the seat of your chair, kind of hanging on around the edge of it, or your armrests. We're gonna find the length in the spine and come forward again from your hips. So once more, try not so much to round your back just yet. Open wide through the chest and come forward. And as you do this, you're going to feel a stretch through the hamstrings, through the backs of your thighs. You might even feel a bit of a stretch into your lower back. And find one more breath here, nice and steady. And this time with your exhale, you can gently round your back. So don't worry about how far you're going down. Just find a release in the neck and in the shoulders. Keep pushing out through the heels. Bring the toes towards you. Go to where you're comfortable. And then with your next inhale, slow motion, come on back up. Take the hands to the thighs and bring the feet under the knees again. Checking in with how you feel. Bringing your palms together, giving thanks for your practice today. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me.